So I sliced the entire huge elephant up into different themes so I could kind of make sense out of the whole thing. Once I did that, I defined what I call a job profile. What kind of a president do we need to attack or tackle these great challenges? What kind of a person do we need to unite this highly polarized country? I mean, after all, you know, we're currently like 50-50 split through the middle. We have 90% of our black community voting for Obama, and I'm guessing probably 60% of our elderly or seniors voting for McCain. So this country is highly polarized. And whoever the president is going to be, I believe this president will need to be a highly integrating personality. We need to find some sort of common denominator where we can find each other upon that next candidate. So obviously, uniting this polarized country was important to me. Another topic I devoted an entire thread to was what I call the media bias. Now, you can complain or not, there's almost a traditional fact that we have a bit of a liberal media bias. Most of the journalists are college educated, and over a time, like the last 20 years, there is a significant part of most networks which adhere to let's call it a liberal ideology. That's all right with me, as long as they still report in a balanced and fair manner about the news and not make the news. Fact of the matter is that even CNN nowadays have shows where 7 Democratic analysts are commenting whatever topic there is, whereas there is 2 Republican analysts. So obviously the image is slanted, and the media has definitely an interest in getting Obama elected. That alone is against my personal fundamental principles of fairness, because I'm trying to see the candidates on an evenly matched play field. I don't know if you share that opinion, but recent studies have shown that 65% of the media is liberal. 80% of CNN's viewers are Democrats. 65% of the reporters are Democrats. I'm not even talking about MSNBC. They have lost their image anyway. They have become a propaganda platform. The fact of the matter is, if you do report on candidates, you gotta compare them in a fair manner. You gotta scrutinize Sarah Palin for her lack of experience, but if you do that, you should do the very same thing with regard to Obama. That hasn't been done. He has not even close been scrutinized as much as Sarah Palin has been scrutinized. Last night's debate between Sarah Palin and Joe Biden showed it clearly. She misspelled one name of the Afghan commander. Biden made 10 significant factual mistakes during that debate, and I haven't heard CNN talk about that. Which is kind of sad. We're looking at an uneven play field with regard to money. Obama has a huge money advantage. You can say he flip-flopped on campaign financing. McCain stuck to his guns, even though his money would be enough to also forego public financing, but he didn't. He stuck to his guns. But that results in yet another disadvantage for the McCain campaign: money. And I'm a marketing professional. Money makes opinions. There is another imbalance, to my opinion, and that's the imbalance of celebrities. So many opinion makers, actors, are all in the Obama tank because they can afford to be. They have enough money to embrace a somewhat socialist platform. Very few have supported McCain. I think that's very unfair. Another grave disadvantage for the McCain campaign seems to be President Bush's low popularity. While I share the opinion that President Bush wasn't the best president we ever had and committed many, many significant, especially communication blunders, I think it's unfair to attribute pretty much any mistake and problem to him there is. Let's face it, this man got elected, and literally within the first month he had to experience September 11. From there on, I mean, the man was in the defensive. And I think it's highly unfair to attribute the Bush government pretty much any mistake there is. And of course, the Obama strategy is to link McCain to Bush, which is another myth I completely debunked. At this point, I can only say that if you consider John McCain and then you look at President Bush, no offense to the incumbent president, we're talking two different calibers of people. We're talking major league versus college football. All right. McCain is has a history. He's got a track record. He's got a resume. He's got proof for what he's done. We know where the man stands, and we know where he comes from, and we know he's playing in a different league than the sitting president. Coming back to my website. So once I sliced up the whole elephant into topics I consider as important for the next election, topics where I believe America faces grave, grave challenges, I then started to collect material, YouTube videos and articles written. I researched how much oil the United States actually does have, because truthfully, in especially this campaign, the normal average Joe Blow doesn't really get good information anymore. The candidates deliver stump speeches, and they are oftentimes quite distorting and masking the actual truth. And many people like you and me don't have the time to actually do the work and really go deep and examine, assess, scrutinize the various policy platforms. I did have a little bit of time, and so I put this website together with facts, figures, evidence, video, 500 pages of material to allow undecided voters, other independents like me, to make an informed decision and not quite spend as much time. That's the whole purpose of my website. Only after I analyzed the material I collected did I give it the name California for McCain. And this website is meant to facilitate your own decision-making process. You will find the topics I consider as important listed in the navigation, and I invite you to look at the material. I invite you to read and see the candidates in their own words. I invite you to look at voting records, track records, resumes, and then make up your minds. Because this year around, everything is about propaganda. Everything is about populist messages, and the real meat concerning the normal Joe Blows like me is very well hidden. You need to go deep. You need to examine their platforms in detail. Because when you do, and once you do, you will very quickly realize that there is one candidate with substance there and another candidate who offers a lot of promises and says all the right things. But when you look closer, you'll find he promises all these things, but he lacks any track record, proof, or substance to underlay all these claims. I give you an example, one of many. One of the most important areas for any normal person like you and me is what I call